I'm Terrance Dailey. I was born March the 14th, 1945 in Greensburg, Pennsylvania to Helen Dailey and Albert Davis. My grandfather, Frank Dailey, came to Pennsylvania and took me back to Atmo when I was 5 years old, and I lived off and on with Ma and Daddy, which was Frank Dailey. Ma told me that when Uncle Eugene went in service, he had a check going to her every month, and she deposits a check in the bank. She just spent it.
Eugene Holt.
Right. I think he spent 20 years in service, married a nurse that he had met while he was in service. Ma gave him the money, and that's when he built the house there in Atmo. Ma's brother was the one that built the house.
Bishop.
Yes. Four minutes before the baby was born, Uncle Eugene's wife died. He in turn went back to New Jersey where her family was from. Ma lived in the house. I remember Uncle Letty's house, Ricky's grandfather,
Nathaniel,
caught on fire 3 Sundays straight. They moved in with Ma. They purchased the land next door, and they stayed with Ma while they were building the house next door. Now, Ma didn't have, she had an outside toilet. She didn't have indoor plumbing. She had, you had to take a bath, you had to take a bath in the wash tub. So, anyway, Uncle Eugene married one of his wife's sister, the baby sister, I think it was. When they came to visit Ma didn't like her because she wouldn't take a bath in the wash tub. She would have to go over to Uncle Buddy's house to take a bath. So Ma didn't like that at all. Anyway, but they always said that Ma didn't like Auntie. They said because she was dark-skinned. So Ma said, no, that wasn't the reason why she didn't like her. She didn't like her because when they were staying with Ma, one Sunday, Ma walked into the kitchen and she was washing sweet potatoes in the dirty dishwater.
So Ma was kind of particular.
Yeah. So Ma, I think she went as far as the 8th grade. Her teacher, she married her teacher.
Married Frank Holt.
Okay. So after the classes, we would come home and then he would take care of the garden. So he was plowing the garden and lightning struck the plow. After that was his calling. So he started preaching after that. So the church, it was his church. He built the church. When he died, the church was left. It was Ma's church. So Ma told them that she didn't want the church. She gave them the church. But she took the organ out the church and gave it to the Lutheran church. She said that they would appreciate it more.
She didn't like certain aspects of the louder religions, right?
Right. She wasn't a shouting Baptist.
Right.
Okay.
Was she a Baptist or a Methodist?
Well, she was a Baptist.
Uh-huh.
But she didn't like the shouting Baptist. Now she was a member of Mount Trump, First Mount Trump and Atmo.
Mm-hmm.
But she would tell Mama Ophelia that she better stop up there carrying on in that church.
And all that shouting and carrying on.
Right. But anyway, now she told me she had a sister who they moved to California. And she received a letter saying as soon as she get able, she would walk back to see her. Now,
Ma's sister moved to California?
One of her sisters.
Do you know who that was?
No, I don't.
I heard that Ma also worked for the Fuller Brush Company. Did you ever hear that?
Well, no, I don't know.
You didn't hear that?
I don't know.
Okay. What else do you know about her, though?
Okay. I attended Lutheran school when I stayed with her. She had false teeth. And then she would say, I never had a toothache in my life. And I said, well, you got false teeth. She said, well, I had some stuff to have them removed before they start hurting. So
she was a smart woman.
Yeah.
Quick.
Right.
Other than Bishop, did you ever meet any of her others?
That's the only
You
one.
never met the others?
No. The only one I met was Bishop. Like Ma's house had 3 bedrooms. Then there was a bath, kitchen, and living room, dining room.
Did you ever hear about who built the furniture that was in the house?
No.
Anything else about her?
Well, Ma was afraid to stay in the house after dark by herself. When she first moved in, some male walked around the house. And Mr. Knight, guy who lived across the street, came over, followed the guy. And then the guy knocked him out, and they never knew who it was, and just kept on going. So she was afraid to stay in the house, after dark by herself.
You were born in the mid-40s, and then you were living with Ma in the 50s. When did Ma pass away?
I was in Vietnam when Ma passed away, so there had to be 66.
She was born in 1875, and she died in December of 1966. And she died in Atmore.
Mm-hmm.
So that must have been very hard for you.
Yeah, well,
not being able to come back for her funeral.
Well, I didn't know about it until I returned.
Oh, you didn't know about it?
Right.
Wow.
Right.
So where were you in Vietnam?
Phan Rang, which is 20 miles south of Cam Ranh Bay.
I see. And how long were you there?
365 days.
When you got there, there were 116 people.
I was the 116th person, about the middle part of Vietnam.
And when you left, how many people were there?
Over 10,000. We lived in the tents, the huts. A year later, there was air-conditioned barracks. And like now, everyone thanks for your service, no matter where I go. Back then, it was a completely different story. They were protesting the war, and it was really terrible. It was more like I was ashamed to tell somebody I had been to Vietnam. But today it's different.
You came back from Vietnam.
I came to Pensacola, and then I started working at Monsanto. I resigned because I was supposed to be going to college in Pensacola. I decided that I was going to move to New York. A friend of mine told me, well, wait until Wednesday I get my check. He was working on the base, which was George Sims. I'm going also. Mm-hmm. Then 2 of my other classmates, they had just gotten out of the Marine Corps. And they said, well, we're going too. So we stopped in D.C. to see some friends who were going to Howard. I had never been on a bus before, so I didn't know that you were supposed to insure your luggage, and no one asked me. So I arrived in Washington, D.C. with no luggage. So we moved into the first hotel right next to the bus station. So I had taken the test here for the post office. So I was offered a job at the post office, no luggage, but I had a job. And the rest of my friends said, well, we going to New York. What you going to do? I said, well, there's no sense in me going to New York, starting all over again when I have a job here in D.C. So I stayed, and they went on to New York.
And you stayed in D.C. for many years. As you look back on your childhood with Ma, what are the biggest things you think you learned from her?
Going to church.
Going to church.
Yes. When I was in the 3rd grade, I could tell you every book of the Bible, spell every book of the Bible. So I think I learned religion, yeah.
And not to shout too loud in church.